Hello and welcome back to Starcraft Brood War Part 2, and in this episode we'll be going through Dunes of Shakuras in the Protoss campaign, as we have successfully made it to Shakuras after going through the warp gate on Ire.
Executor. The survivors from Ire have made it safely through the gate. Yet, amidst the chaos of our retreat, we lost contact with Fenix and Raynor.
Not Fenix and Raynor! Man, I like those characters.
We were just playing as Raynor.
No, we weren't.
Raynor has proven himself on the fields of battle. He managed to survive with above 50% of his maximum health remaining. He's a force to be reckoned with, as well as he is stalwart.
We must reconnoiter the surrounding area and find a suitable location for a more permanent settlement. Once we're situated, we can begin to search.
Reconnoiter. That is a word I need to add to my vocabulary. I'm sure it has many colorful uses.
Although it does... Oh, look! Our force from last time is dwindled down to 4 Zealots and 4
Time
probes.
to craft! You're on a star, you got minerals. Build stuff. Did I say you could rest yet?
Shakuras. They must have taken control of the warp gate on Ire.
Alright, here is where we will build our base. It's not a good spot, but it is the spot that we found.
So suddenly for the first time, and I don't know how long this had eluded me, I'm thinking of how the invaders from Invader Zim build houses on foreign planets. They just drop a fucking capsule and it sprouts a robot bean.
Huh. That's technically stolen from Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah, dude, totally. Invader Zim is derivative as fuck. It's just wicked over-the-top disgusting. But yeah, we are building not just 1, but 3 invader bases.
Alright, you'll notice that I have these zealots on patrol here, because I know that there's going to be Zergling patrols coming in and out of our base for quite some time. And I need to have, I need to have forces that can actually, scout around in order to see them and intercept them on their way in.
You see anything yet?
No!
No, I don't see nothing yet. Okay, just let me know. Use your walkie-talkies.
So what is new in the world of
This
Cloud
guy
whilst we
is
wait
on a
for our
mission.
base to build?
Well, I mean, it bears repeating. There are so many bodacious babes in Virgil's The Aeneid. Now I know it's classic as fuck, and that other derivative creators will just get right to the point. But so far we have met the goddess Venus, who is basically naked except for little golden, let's call it clothing, sure, over her lady parts. I had just gotten introduced to the mermaids, who have dolphin tails above beautiful breasts, and we also have the harpies. But the harpies are probably supposed to be the most hideous of the 3, even though Virgil goes on later to conjecture that maybe they are themselves goddesses.
You've returned home after these many decades, but the strange deaths that have fallen to here seem ill-tempered. Well met, my brother. Indeed, these
Well met, my brother. These internet pictures will prove very useful over the long, weary campaign.
Actually, the Protoss don't have internet, mostly because they have telepathic communication.
Executor, we have received a transmission from Raynor and Fenix.
Huh. So humans have created an artificial telepathy system, and we call it the internet.
We must secure the
Interesting.
gate on this side without delay.
Yes. Now, this mission wants us to build DTs, but as Pascaret brought up, DTs are just not as good as Dragoons. It's not fair that they're not as good as Dragoons, but they are not as good as Dragoons.
So are we just going to be doing the same crap we were doing during the regular Protoss campaign, just relying on Dragoons because they are just slightly better than everything else?
For the most part, yes. I would like to apologize for that, but Dragoons are pretty much the Protoss's only decent unit.
'Unit. Oh yeah, dude. when a game lets you build similarly along lines, but it doesn't present a superior alternative, then of course you're making the right decision by repeating yourself.
Yeah.
It's gonna be what?
Pascarded is attempting to
Dragoons again!
justify us using Dragoons and DTs.
And DTs.
Unfortunately,
Dick
there
turds.
is a limited amount of characters in the text box still.
It's okay. It's kind of like reading the scrolling text at the bottom of a newscast. The good ones, anyway.
Whereas for me, there's not all that much new stuff. I tried out the speedrun mode for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, and got my ass absolutely handed to me because Sengetsu's got 600 fucking HP at level 4. That's stupidly high. Yeah, I beat boss rush mode super simply though. Each course only took me about 2 minutes.
Speedrun mode. I wonder which game I would have to speedrun next. Which one do I know well enough? Which one could I complete in maybe inside of 2 hours if I worked on it? That's a big question.
Resident Evil 3?
Never played it.
Oh, neither have I.
I mean, I could speedrun. Honestly, if I had a human partner, I could probably speedrun Resident Evil 5, although I can't see how interesting that would be for my buddy, except the part where he would be setting a speedrun record with me.
You'll notice that I don't actually bother to build shield batteries, and the big reason why that is because Protoss shields regenerate on their own usually fast enough to where a shield battery is mostly just a waste of space, at least in my personal opinion. And competitive shield batteries are actually very important, but I don't play Starcraft to compete with people. At least compete with real people. I compete with my friends every once in a while, but then they hate me because I do like 2 things and I do them relatively well.
Just well enough. Have your invisible paladins in the back row, and have your workers working even through their required and mandatory 30-minute unpaid lunch break, and let them do their jobs.
Probes don't actually need a lunch break because they're almost completely mechanical. I mean, SCVs and drones certainly need a lunch break, but at that point they probably end up getting devoured and reconstituted by the rest of the swarm, or retrained into Marines.
Oh, right. There's no question that the Protoss are some kind of superhuman force, biomechanical. And at the same time, though, it makes them less sympathetic.
You see, you say that, but actually Protoss has got a majority of the heroes that I sympathize with, like Phoenix, Tassadar, Artanis, and Zeratul. All these characters are trying to do what's right against the glowering eye of what is effectively Big Brother, and they get shit for it constantly.
It's an interesting point you make. You draw attention to Big Brother syndrome, especially in a culture where everybody's minds are basically already connected.
Yeah, the Protoss culture is incredibly rigid. At least on Ire it was. Shakuras is much less rigid, but it's still a warrior caste for the most part.
Building. Seeing a lot of dudes just standing around doing nothing. If you lean, you clean. Put your sword down and pick up a broom, gentlemen.
Unfortunately, the Dark Templars don't have the ability to use a mop. And honestly, we're on Shakuras, which is mostly a desert planet. A mop doesn't actually work on Shakuras.
Oh, no. Not on asphalt. I mean, you could use a damn leaf blower on the parking lot, but I'm saying like inside the bases, you know. And I know you guys are mechanical and perfect or whatever, but you still make dust.
Yeah, honestly, you're gonna want about 2 or 3 photon cannons at both the front and back end of the base in order to defend against the continuous Zergling streams that well, not continuous, but sporadic Zergling streams that show up.
Sporadic and increasing intensity, I'm sure, as the longer the game goes on. Why you
not
need
really
to go and
intensity.
destroy.
They never send more than about 5 Zerglings. They'll occasionally send in a couple Hydralisks with them, but that's about it.
I think we got the personnel ready.
Mr. Cloud?
What's the question again?
Are there any major events coming up in your life, Mr. Cloud?
4th of July?
I don't really consider 4th of July a major event, honestly. It's a holiday that people celebrate, certainly, but that's about it.
It's a damn good one, though, in this country.
I don't know. Fireworks shows aren't all that great. Barbecuing out is okay, but, you know, I'm not actually all that big a fan of barbecued food, so... It's not really one that I share the same amount of enthusiasm as other people do.
Man, I tell you what, Applebee's all-you-can-eat riblets are definitely a hitter for the spot, wherever it is in your stomach places. So, on the subject of barbecue, yes, you are missing out.
Whereas for me, I have multiple birthday parties to attend this month.
Woo! Birthday month. I love birthday month.
I thought birthday month was usually November for most people.
Well, it's August for me. A lot of my friends have August birthdays.
Ah, alright.
And I think it might carry over into September. About the first weekend or so. Processor.
I think they're supposed to be saying crush the Zerg, but it's doubtful. Now we're gonna be building our first major wave of DTs because DTs are great scouts. They're not all that fast, but they can fend for themselves decently well. The thing is, because we're once again playing Protoss, they build really slowly.
You don't say.
I do say. I say it all the damn time. It's why Protoss are the least competitive race in Starcraft 1. It's not fair because Protoss are easily the coolest race in Starcraft 1, but they don't have anything that, you know, actually makes them stand out above either Terran or Zerg. Zerg get the stupidly fast unit production, and Terran get the stupidly efficient unit production. You were attempting to ask a question, Mr. Cloud.
No.
Oh, okay.
Just waiting for that good old green traffic light. But again, we are rowing to a very slow production cycle, which we also had observed during the main campaign. Well, that's why the Protoss can at least defend themselves while they're developing, as long as you can destroy the attackers before they take away too many health bars, because then the shield will regenerate.
Yeah. Now, mind you, effectively both Zerg and Terran have that as well. At least if you get attacked whilst you're building. Actually, no. Terran get to repair their structures, and Zerg naturally regenerate because their structures are actual creatures.
Right. The Zerg also can regenerate health. I forgot about that.
I mean, it's slower than the Protoss shield, certainly, but it's still, you know, it's still regeneration of some form.
Upgrade complete.
I mean, if you forget to kill the troll in Oblivion after you took its health down all the way and you get distracted and start looking for loot or whatever, it's still going to catch up to you with full health.
Yeah, but that's because trolls mythologically actually have enhanced regeneration speeds.
Because they're some kind of slime monsters or some shit.
No, it's not because of that. Let me think. Actually, I don't know why in most mythologies trolls actually have the regeneration bonus. I mean, it's actually
because they're abhorrent.
It's actually something that they explain a little bit in Warcraft, but I don't know why classic trolls have the bonus. And in the next part, we will continue on with the Dunes of Shakuras mission.